That, my friends, is the sound of unleashed excitement. It's Friday night. Luke here. I'm bringing 2,400 points of scaled skins versus green skins, skinks versus toads, spiders versus Ripper D's. That's right, the Lizardmen throw down against the Orcs and Goblins. And if that wasn't just jaw-droppingly awesome enough, it's a game between Rotor and Luke. Two good guys to have beers with. Rotor of SkullBros Awesome fame. Great podcast. Definitely Google it. Listen if you don't listen. Those guys are really fun. And me, just lovable old Luke. But hey, it's a fun game. I don't have enough of my Dark Elves assembled yet, and Rotor wanted to throw down, so the greenskins come out. I was pretty excited about that. Almost went vampires, but then I remembered, hey, Lizardmen are like the only army next to dwarves that are slower than I am. So hell, let's bring the greenskins. So this is not a picture of deployment. This is just the skink cloud. Rotor's bringing the pain. It's just a whole bunch of shit I got to get through. And then some meaty assholes on the other side. But beyond that, I mean, he's got a damn nice painted army. It was the same. He's got a couple new guys since the last time I played him. But I just like taking pictures of his army. It looks pretty damn nice, and you can tell there's some big old dudes in there. It's going to hurt. So deployment, doing a standard game, nothing really out there in the terrain to speak of. I'm rocking the same 2,400 point list that I ran against Nick last time. SkullBros tend to play a lot of tournaments, so when you fight tournament, guys do a lot of tournaments, they always seem to want to play at like 2,400 points. It seems the opposite. If you're kind of a basement gamer like me, you tend to just do increments of 500. But Rotor wanted 24, so I dusted off the other list after work, and here's what we got. We got one Mangler Squig, one Arachnarok, the best thing to bring. We got a group of 21 Black Orcs. Clearly a couple extra points to get 21 Black Orcs there. No shields. That might have been a better little change there. Drop one, get some shields on them, or however that worked out, because there's probably going to be a lot of shooting with them skinks. Then I got a Doom Diver in the back. I have 37 Savage Orc Biggins with extra hand weapon. They've got a BSB, Black Orc BSB in there. He's rocking a 5 aboard save. Then I've got level 4 Shaman, Lucky Shrunken Head, and Magic Resistance 1, so that gives all of them a little 5 aboard save, 4 up versus specific magic stuff. I know it looks like there's a full 40 there, but that's because my big old characters in the front, they don't play well with other units, so they pushed guys to the back, just because the models are too big. Then I got 6 trolls. Sorry, Malorian, those are not river trolls yet, just regular trolls. Got a squig herd, 21 squigs, 7 herd. They're going to go up and just chew anything they can. Then the goblin hero, the guy bouncing around random movement. He's got himself a little bit of decent armor save. He's got a spear for strength 5, extra wound from the squig, and a little ruby ring of ruin in case I have a couple extra dice I want to pew-pew. Finally, the second Doom Diver. This was my first drop. I thought I might spread out, then I decided, no, let's clump up in the other corner. Without really remembering that skinks can scout, I'm pretty much just giving this one to him. So this is obviously after Rotor's deployment as well, because he's got some scouted skinks 12 inches away, ready to shoot the hell out of that Doom Diver. On his left flank, my right, he's got some Ripperdactyls. They drop down. New models looking very nice. And they put the bloat toads or bloat toad eggs, or however that works, whatever little thing, fluff-wise, makes those guys go just bananas on a unit, it's in the Savages. So he's going to try to get around and chew them up real good. Then he's got a group of skinks. Now, basically, when you're looking at skinks here, if they're purple, I believe that means they have blowpipes and are probably chameleons. If they're blue, it appears by looking at the model, they have javelins. And I think that holds true for all of his models. So, 2 groups of skinks on the right there. A Salamander, Ancient Stegodon with the sharpened horns, means his impact hits do D3 wounds. So that'd be pretty cool. In with the skinks, he's got, in both of these groups of skinks you can see now on this screen, he's got little skink priests in there. Both of them rocking the lore of beasts. One of them has Wiston's Wild Form, and one of them has Curse of Honor here. Very good spells to have. In addition, he's got a Slan level 4 in the back, rocking Lore of Death, can channel some spells through the skinks. Fantastic ability. I was very jealous. That was pretty cool. Then he's got a Bastiladon with the Arc of Sotek upgrade, so no swarms or anything, but it's a decent spell to have if you got some extra dice. He's got 2 Old Bloods in a big old group of Saurus Warriors. Looks like they're about 40 strong, pretty close to that. The Old Bloods giving them stupidity in the unit and immune to panic from that and all that stuff. They don't get a lookout, sir, but yeah, those guys are going to swing for the fences in close combat. You know what they'll do. And then he's got a group of scouting skinks. He just dropped out front to be chaff, because with me being in the corner like that, there wasn't much other place for him to go. So that's it, my friends. We go to Vanguard movements, and he flies over, and, and he does the... I call them a dirty son of a bitch for facing him the other way so they didn't have to worry about Frenzy. But I do the same thing with my Vargeists. It's just cheap, but, you know, they have worse leadership than the Vargeists. I think they're rocking a leader 5, so I totally cannot fault him for doing that. We pick up our dice. I finish deploying first, and I get to go first. I don't realize this right now. If you remember my last battle report, you might be smarter than I am, and I don't realize this till like turn 2, but I forgot to deploy and bring to the gaming store my 20 Night Goblins with 2 Fanatics and my level 1 Goblin. They're just not on the table. That's a decent amount of points I'm not playing with. And the only way I cheat that, so it's just a handicap to me right now, the only way I'm cheating that is because I have it, like it's just like they're off the board, but I do play with my Dispel Scroll before I realize they're gone. So I have like, oh yeah, I've got Dispel Scroll on my level 1, I toss that out, you'll see that in a minute. Otherwise, I'm just straight up down on points. So, sorry about that. I'm just not that smart. So, into the game we go. Greenskins get turn 1. No one can charge. Everyone moves up. You can tell I'm flying forward with the trolls. I know those skinks are just going to come jamming me up here in the beginning. So, let's get close and see what we can do. The Mangler goes a very minimal distance forward, like 2-2-3 or something. And hopefully I'm not... I'm not far enough forward where he can really do anything to me, but I gotta get some movement on turn 2. And Ragnarok just goes up a little bit. I don't really want to get a bunch of charges. I want to, use that terror test to my favor is what I'm thinking, and wait for him to get kind of away. He's rocking leadership 10 on his slan, and yeah, that's also the BSB. So I gotta wait and terror test some stuff when they get away. Otherwise, I put the Black Orcs like behind. He's got some monsters, and that's what I want to put him into, but I'm not really sure what to do with them in the beginning, so they ended up behind on this side. Not the best placement, though. On this flank, my Squig Herd just kind of moves straight forward, and I start sending my random movement dude out toward the Ripper D's, thinking, yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to charge me this turn anyway, and then maybe I can do something. We'll see what happens. We go to Magic, it's 5 dice to 3, and I have the Ruby Ring on this Goblin, by the way. Yeah, that's exactly why I put him over here, because I'm thinking if I've got some dice, I'm going to throw a Ruby Ring at them, here, take a Fireball in your face, see what happens. But it's only 5 dice to 3, and of course, wouldn't you know it, I have Foot of Gork. I didn't get Hand of Gork, which I would have much preferred, I think, but I get Foot of Gork, and I always say this is a problem. If you can't get 2 spells off, every Orcs and Goblins player is going to 6 dice Foot all day long, especially when he brings Magic Resistance, which is exactly why I brought it. So I 6 dice it like an asshole, very strategic, I know. I throw all. I don't 6 dice, and I 5 die. That's all I got. I get exactly 18 for the large version. It's gonna stomp, and I'm placing it where you can see, so I get one of the Old Bloods and can hopefully kill a whole bunch of them warriors. Because yeah, I'm gonna need to soften that unit up. I'm thinking. He throws a Dispel Scroll, which is a win. Getting it out this early first spell, that's good. But that ends the magic phase completely. He uses his Eldritch Power on his Slan to store one of his Dispel dice, and he can pull it back as a casting dice in the next phase on a roll of a 2-up. So that's going to always work out well for him. Doomdiver 1 takes aim at the Ripperdactyls. They're still there. Doomdiver 1 rolls a misfire and blows up. That's like, yeah. I know he was really scared of those Doomdivers when they drop. He's like, oh shit, that's going to suck. And then, yeah, I mean, it just always happens. One of them's going to blow itself up. Doomdiver 2, however, lands, gets 4 wounds on the Bastillodon. He only has 4, and I think I either failed a wound once or he rolled a save. No, he wouldn't have had a save. I must have failed the wound once. So now that thing's rocking 1 wound, and I'm feeling good about that because that thing can be a really painful bounce spell. Anyway, not bad for Doomdiver. And that's it. Here's a picture of the end of turn. You can see how quickly I am moving up right in his business and what the other side looks like as well. Lizardman turn 1, he moves his scouts closer to the hero. Now he doesn't really care if he fails. He kind of abandons going after the Doomdiver right away. Oh, yeah, it blew itself up. What the hell am I thinking? My notes are a little weird. So he decides he's going to shoot at the Goblin, and that's it for movement on this side. Otherwise, you can see here, he's basically pulled both of his skink characters out of their units. He doesn't have to worry about shooting from me, really. It's not like I'm going to send a Doomdiver at, a level 1 skink priest. So he's moving him out. He's going to be able to channel with who he needs to and chaff up a bit. And you can just see the cloud has moved forward. There are skinks on top of skinks. His main line's moved up a little bit. I'm not sure if the Slan did at all himself, But everyone else is moving up here. You can tell, I mean, just look in the front of the trolls and the savages. I'm going to have to get through different groups and maximize one way, maximize another, and overrun. It's going to start to get bad. Real mucked up. On this side, too, this is what we call Chaff City, folks. This is exactly what they're good at. And then sons of bitches are going to be able to flee and redirect and all that wonderful. Or I'm only going to be able to redirect twice. He'll probably rally on Cold-Blooded with a nice leadership bubble. That's going to be a pain in the butt is what I'm thinking. So that's basically it for movement. We go to magic. It's 8 dice to 5. The Slan, so he's got 2 Skink Priests that can channel. The Slan, I think, channels on a 5 or 6, and he has a couple of different attempts at it. And then he's got his Eldritch Energy to give him a dieback, which didn't work out too poorly for him. He only got two from it, so it's 8 to 5. He throws out Fate of Bajuna on the Mangler, and this is where I throw out my Dispel Scroll. He got pretty decent on it, and I was like, you know, I don't really care if the Mangler dies, but I felt that I could shut down the rest of the magic phase, and I'm always that type of guy that throws the Dispel Scroll out early, so I threw it, and it's like a few minutes after this, after the magic phase, and I'm like, wait, I don't even have that dude with the Dispel Scroll. What the hell? And, you know, Rotor's like, dude, just let's proxy something. Put anything on the board that represents them. I'm like, no, I'm an idiot, and I've already got the benefit of the Dispel Scroll. That's it. But Rotor was very kind, was going to let me do all sorts of you are a bad player shenanigans. But he was very, very kind. So the Dispel Scroll saves the Mangler there. He throws 2 dice on the Mangler from the Bastiladon's bounce spell, and I failed the Dispel on my level 4, actually, with it. It ends up getting him 4 strength 4 hits. On toughness 4, he lands 2 of them. Mangler's got 3 wounds, so the Mangler is still alive with 1 wound left. I would normally feel pretty good about that, but there's a lot of skinks up there. Now, none of them are in range right now, so I've just got to start bouncing around next turn. On the right flank, my right flank, the Salamander rolls a 10, gets a perfect placement on the Squigs. Ends up killing, he hits 4 goblins, only killing 1 of them. And then creams, I think, 6 or 7. Yeah, it must be 7 squigs. So takes out 1 row of squigs entirely. Goblins were like fine. It was very weird. So that was a nice hit. In other shooting, he puts 2 wounds on the Goblin Hero. He did 4 total wounds. I armor saved 2 of them, which was nice. So he's got 1 left. It's getting a little dicey. The Skinks put 1 wound on the Trolls, and there was kind of just a bunch of random shooting. I might not have it exactly right, but yeah, I guess this is a better picture of that. Yep. So there's only 1 wound on the Trolls, and there's some shooting all over the place, and generally doesn't do too much. But it's not pleasant. So here is a picture of the right flank end of turn, left flank end of turn. Greenskins turn 2, baby. All right. So this is going to get confusing. I have multiple pages to show what's happening because, god dang, there are a lot of frickin' skinks everywhere. So the first thing, I fail Animosity on the Squig Herd, and I decide I've got to declare charge. It's one of those ones. I declare charge on the purple skinks. They flee, and they don't get that far away. They basically go where that arrow is, so I choose not to try to redirect. I don't know if I was within 12. I don't think I was, but I chose not to. I'm going after them anyway. No, I'm going to eat them. Next, Spider declares a charge on those skinks, as you can see on the left. They failed their terror test. That's why they bolt. I don't think he didn't think I was going to hit him. I'm pretty sure they failed their terror test, and he bolts there. So we go to the next page. I managed to redirect the Arachnarok into the scouting skinks. Those guys opt to flee because he doesn't want a spider right up front, so he wants me to fail, and I won't be able to redirect again. They bounce through the skink priest, passes his test, bounce through the Saurus warriors who are stupid, and you know, everyone's fine. He bounces through there. I think he got through the Stonehorn, not Stonehorn, the Stegodon as well. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, it looks like that actually bounced through and panicked it panicked those purple skinks in front. So there's a priest sitting in front, but it panicked them. So the Arachnarok's going to fail a charge. Bunch of skinks are going to be in the back. You'll see that in a minute. And then I'm going to continue going with the squigs on the right. Okay, with all that cleared out, and you can see where they ended up. The priest is the only one out front now. The savages are free to declare a charge, and it's a decent charge, but I'm like, hell, I'm going. Let's go. Let's make you think about it. So I do that, and the trolls, yeah, they were chaffed up. It doesn't really look like it that clearly, but they were chaffed up by the skinks here early on, so I could not get to the left, to the trolls left and get around them. I was going to have to clip them a little bit. So I decided to charge. he decides to flee at this point because basically his entire chaff wall is gone. Like, I'll just get to maybe overrun and maybe get into the Stegodon, maybe get into Salamander. Depends on how, I don't know, depends on how I hit. But he decides to flee. And so when he decides to flee, I decide to redirect. I'm within General's Inspiring Presence. I decide to redirect into the big old block. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll hold them up. Maybe I'll make it in. Those guys have movement 6. Those are the guys that are going to do it. So I said in the last page that the Savages were going to charge Skink Priest. He decided to GTFO, bounced through his dudes, and I redirected the Savages now are going into the middle. Holy crap, it was phase after phase after phase of reaction and figure out what I could do, what I couldn't do. It was crazy. So ultimately, the Arachnarok has to fail. The Savages are going to go try to get to that big block. The Trolls are going to try to get to the big block. The bunch of guys are fleeing, and the initial chargers, the Squigs, are going to the right. So here's what it looks like when we're done. The Arachnarok obviously fails. The Savages failed their charge. They needed a pretty decent distance, but believe it or not, the Trolls get in, and I'm like, hell yeah. So I go right in front of one of those Scarvets, because I know that generally speaking, Scarvets are armor-based. You usually don't have a ward save if you want to go killy. So I am going to puke all over his face, because no armor saves from puke. Otherwise, that's basically how it works. Here's a picture showing the Trolls make it in, and just the beautiful-looking dinosaur models. The Mangler, oh my god, rolls up piddly distance and doesn't make it. Here's a picture showing that right there. I mean, I seriously rolled like a 2, a 2, and a 3, or 2, a 2, and a 1, or something like that. I needed like 2 more inches, and it was like just on the short side. Then I could have at least killed a skink and been bouncing around like crazy, but now he can either walk on me, or he can shoot me, or magic me. God damn it, Mangler. The Black Orcs are coming around the back. I'll jump back here to show you that, but that's basically it there. The Squigs, you can see they made their charge on the right. Those skinks didn't go that far, so made them, destroyed them because I touched them on the flee, and used my I don't know if it's a combat reform at that point or if it's just a free reform right away, but used whenever it happened to face inside there. And I did it in such a way that the Ripperdactyls are now in my rear, but I don't really care if he rips up those Ripperdactyls or if he rips them up. I think I'd prefer that to the Savages. And you can see the little gray dye on the left where his egg or bloat toad mark or whatever it is in the Savages. But yeah, anyway, if I'm a little worried about those guys. I don't want the combat res from rear charge. I don't want all the crazy wounds. So here, go ahead. You'll kill my dudes and they'll blow up and we'll see what happens. I don't know if that's the right call. So in the random movement phase, I honestly thought about turning them around and just flying into the Ripperdactyls. I wouldn't have had a charge reaction. You know, the issue is we were probably going at the same time, and I had 3 strength 5 attacks and another 3 strength 5 attacks from the Squig. I thought I might be able to kill 1 or 2 and soften it up, because I'm pretty nervous about those guys, maybe more than I should be. But I'm thinking, no, I got a Ruby Ring of Ruin, I'll be throwing it away and not using it there. Let's just go forward and try to shoot at something, if I get magic dice for it. So that's what I'm thinking, and we'll see what happens. This is just a picture from the side showing the cluster fudge of movement. So, it's magic phase now, people. It's 8 dice to 7. I throw 2 dice at the Ruby Ring on the Skink Priest. Now, follow the arrow, because he's right there. I didn't have a good picture of it. Now, I'm going to shoot him with the Ruby Ring, because it's a bunch of hits on a little dude, and I want them out of there. You know, I don't want freaking beast magic going off. I don't want him channeling death spells, or even just chaffing me up. These guys are running around chaffing crap now. Screw that. So I throw a couple dice at it, it goes off, and he throws a couple dice to dispel it, which is good. That's kind of what I wanted, because I take my last 6 dice, and you know what's coming. It is the foot. So I do the big one. He fails to stop it. Either that or it's Irresistible Force. I can't remember which of the 2 it is, but it's going to go off, and if it is Irresistible Force, nothing major happens. So it goes off first. The first stomp just drifts basically straight back a couple inches, but misses the entire unit. I roll, and he's going to stomp again. I'm basically putting it where that transparent foot of Gork is, because I wanted to make him make a lookout, sir, on his slaying. He gets that ability, even though he's a big old fatty. But it drifts to the left a little bit, so I stomp 4 and kill 4, but then the spell ends. So yeah, not what I wanted, but you know, you gotta put some shots on net if you want to try to take out that slam. And that's basically it for the magic phase. So during the shooting phase, the remaining the best target I think I've got, I'm like, should I go after the Bastillodon? Should I go after the Stegodon? That's obviously going to get into combat soon. I'm thinking, let's get the Bastillodon out of there. And so Doom Diver hits, does a bunch of wounds. It only had one left, kills it. Everyone passes their panic just fine. Wait, those skinks look like they're facing the wrong way. I think they fled. I'm pretty sure everyone's already panicking or past their panic. So we get a close combat. Whew, you are not going to believe this. Okay, so I get into close combat. He moves, so I'm touching one of his Scarvets, the one on the right. He moves his Scarvet on the left over, right? Because he's like, let's attack. This is good. Looking down, I said, I'm initiative 1. He goes, I'm initiative 1 on my rank and file. The cold ones are initiative 1, but I'm rocking great weapons on my Scarvets up top, so they're going to go after him. Like, that's cool. Let me just go first, or we'll go at the same time, but let me go first. I'm going to puke. The unit has to decide to puke all at once. They're puking. I'm throwing 2 pukes on the right, on the old blood on the right. I'm throwing 2 on the left at him. So I pick up the 2 dice. I puke on the old blood. Vomit comes spewing out. I get 2 wounds. No armor saves. He looks down. That one doesn't have a ward save. Kills it. I'm like, oh my god, that's great. I pick up the 2 dice for the guy on the left. I'm like, okay, we're gonna puke on the guy on the left. I roll the 2 dice. Auto hits. 2 wounds. No armor saves. He looks down. Son of a bitch. He doesn't have a ward save either. Dead old blood. Oh my god, I was laughing. I pick up the 2 dice for just the rank and file in the middle. Both of them failed the wound. And I'm roaring. I'm like, I can't even freaking believe it. Oh my god. So I'm laughing my ass off. He throws 11 wounds back at me. I'm like, oh shoot, here it comes. I regen 7 of them. Which, you know, it's above average, but it's pretty good. I only freaking took 4 wounds. It was awesome. Then I stomped back a whole bunch. But when we're all said and done, it's a straight up tie. Combat res, charge, everything. He doesn't have a Muso. It's a tie. No one's going anywhere. And except I am using my trolls exactly how I want to. I want to puke on those dudes, and it just came through aces for me. I was so happy. So this picture of the end of turn. Here comes the pain. Lizardman turn 2. Stegodon's not having any of that. Obviously gets an immediate charge. And because, I had to maximize and I wanted to puke on the dude, it's a flank charge. So he's in no problem. That's it for this screen. The Ripperdactyls decided to go into the rear of the Squigs, the herd. I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking maybe. I thought maybe he would go after that little goblin at this point. But then maybe he's frenzying forward and then getting charged. Maybe it's right. He goes into the rear and we'll see what happens. The Skinks in the back fail to rally, the one by Rotor's hand. They go off the board. The blue Skinks failed to rally as well and bounced through the Salamander. That panicked the Salamander, unfortunately, and the Salamander bounced through the Skinks, is now headed off the board. They're not off the board yet, but he's headed that way. And now they're actually kind of far away from the Slon. Slon's way on the other side, so yeah, that went really poorly for him. You know, his leadership's supposed to be better than that with Cold-Blooded, and he just is getting bad luck. The bad luck is starting to kind of turn in its head a couple of times, and I'm thinking, this is one of those games. This is one of those games where, like, it's normally my really bad luck. I think it's like Lady Luck is sitting on Rotor's lap and pooping. I think that's what's happening. So on this side, so he moves his Skink Priest kind of up in front so he can chaff up and at least just try to speed bump those savages so I can't come in and help that combat out. And the Slon is going to move back behind the super wall of Saurus, and that's basically what you're going to see from movement there. The Skinks are making their way over to the Doom Diver. We go to Magic. It's 8 dice to 4. Eldritch Energy gives him some dice, and he channels a little bit, so it makes the lead pretty hefty at 8 to 4. He throws 3 die at Fata Buna on, I think he's trying to target my BSB, and the 3 dice on his level 4 fails to cast. Shuts his magic phase down immediately, and I'm thinking, holy crap, that was another... Oh my god, I'm getting so lucky. I'm just trying not to giggle because it's, Rotor's a great guy. He's not letting it really bother him, but it's starting to mount up, all the things that are going wrong for him. So he's got some dice left. He's got 5 left, and he's got 2 Beast Casters. He throws 2 dice at Wiston's Wild Form on the Saurus Warriors there and fails to cast on his on his Skink. And then he throws out Curse of Honor here on the Savages, gets it off, but I've got a whole mitt full of die and just throw him down and dispel it. So I walk away from that magic phase totally unscathed. We go to the shooting phase, and the Skinks are able to finish off the last wound in the Mangler. And then there's some shots of the Ragnarok. I think it was at the Ragnarok, but it didn't do anything, so we don't need to talk about it. In close combat, my God, it was weird. He throws all those frenzied attacks and all those spear-holding skink attacks at the goblins. He only gets 2 hits. Not wounds, hits. Only 2 frickin' hits. And I think maybe wounded 1. It was bizarre. Maybe wounded both, but 2 hits. Those are frenzied monsters. It was unbelievable. Like, okay, continue the bad luck. Okay, so all my goblins miss, but because there's a gap, 2 of the squigs can turn around and attack. Both squigs hit, both squigs wound, and he has an armor save, even with strength 5. And they get 2 attacks each. So 4 wounds coming at him, he armor saves 1. He takes 3. I kill 1 outright. With 2 squigs, there's only 2 squigs that can attack. I'm thinking, oh my God, these guys just chew up the Lizardmen. I wish I was in combat with them. But, unfortunately, because he's in the rear, I lose combat by 1. And that's a leadership 5, now down to a 4 people. I break, and when you break, you blow up. This is exactly what I do. I blow up and I kill the goblin hero next to him. I blow the living hell out of the remaining 2 Ripper Ds. Kill myself, obviously, and I go pretty far on the roll, like 11 inches, and blow up 6 of the skinks that are trying to get their ass off the board. I'm like, yeah, Squig's gone wild. I don't know the points for Ripperdactyls, but I'm thinking he probably came out ahead on that one. And but then again, at this point, I'm irrationally afraid of those Rippers, so I'm thinking, yeah, my plan is to get the Savages into that big block and just go to town. I don't want any combat res or guys in the back holding me up, so I think I would have taken that trade all day. And I don't know if it was right, but I was afraid of him. So in close combat on this side, he gets 7 impact hits, and I regen all but 2. So he's like, hold on, these things are D3 wounds, right? I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt. Rolls a 1 and a 2. So it's just 2 wounds from the from the frickin' impact hits. Oh God, Rotor, it was just going so bad for you, buddy. The Stegodon lands 1 wound in normal close combat. I puke, throwing 1 at the Stegodon. I miss on puking on the Stegodon. I get 1 puke on the rank and file, and that's it. I get 3 stomps, 3 wounds actually stomp the rank and file. He armor saves 2 of them, which actually was some good luck. But I get destroyed by combat res. So I'm on snakes, re-rollable. I fail, I break, and he's thinking, okay, I should just pursue with the dino. But he's like, I really want to get him. I don't know. He's going back and forth. Then I pointed out, well, hey, you got that primal, not primal fury. You got that primal attack thing, right? But luckily we measured it. His skink's within 6 inches, so he doesn't have to pursue if he doesn't want to. He decides he's gonna because he wants the points, which was a good thing for him that he did in terms of getting the points because his dinosaur didn't catch him, but his Saurus did. And this is his turn. He wiped out the trolls, and I'm thinking, well, this is everything I want. Let's go, baby. So it's green skins, turn 3. I'm in, baby. I got the maximization taken care of exactly perfectly, and in such a way that originally, if we jump back here, you can see the skink to our left of his big unit. He was blocking it, so I couldn't get the Ragnarok in. But now that they overran forward, he's not blocking, so when I maximize here, I'm able to corner clip the Ragnarok in, and that's going to be a lot of extra attacks. I'm super stoked. I'm bringing the black orcs up the rear because the only really target I need those guys in is that Stegodon because I need to be able to chop them up. But yeah, I put them pretty far back, and they are not fast. I don't have a Hand of Gork to help me out here, so they may not make it. We go to Magic. It's 9 dice to 7. So he's still keeping up on the dispel pretty well. I get Fist of Gork off, and I throw that first, thinking, I'll try to get this off. I don't really need it. Maybe I'll draw the dice. He doesn't fall for it, just lets it go. So I got +3 strength, +3 attacks, and I don't really need it with him, but we'll take it. And I throw 6 dice at Here We Go, because that is the spell I want to get off. I want rerolls, because I'm thinking we're probably fairly evenly matched. It's been a long time since I've gone up against Saurus, but they're T4. Yeah, I don't know. I bet they're going to hit hard. They got some armor. And but no rerolls, goes off. Very sad. During shooting, the Doom Diver hits, only does 2 wounds, and he ward saves both of them on his slan up top there. So no lucky Doom Diver shot winning the game. That would have had to been really freaking lucky. But hey, Rotor's luck was ass, so maybe. All right. Holy shit. So the Savages are initiative 1 faster. They're 2. Warriors are 1. Oh my god. So the Ragnarok helped and actually got a decent amount of attacks in. But those Savages went to frickin' town. Because I'm Biggins, I'm one weapon skill higher. I'm hitting on 3s, and strength 5 Choppa's first round, I'm wounded on 3s. I destroyed them. When it was time for him to go, he had 6 left. So his 6 swing for the rank and file just to try to do something. He scores only 1 fucking hit out of 6. I felt so bad. And I pick it up to roll, and I roll the ward save. Oh, God, I was laughing so hard. You know, I wasn't laughing in his face, because at this point we were both laughing. It was just unreal. Just deleted that unit, and I thought, I didn't know going in. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this. I was thinking, I got to have that spider in for the Thunderstomps, otherwise I probably wouldn't do it. No, we were all right. We had this. He breaks on Snake Eyes, rerollable, and I overrun to catch him. Don't go that far, sadly, with the Savages. So you can see I'm going to get a flank charge by that Stegodon, most likely. I mean, he doesn't have to, but I think you can probably see the Arachnarok, but maybe not. It's tough to tell from pictures at this angle. But he's probably, at this point, the smart bet is to go into the flank anyway to try to hold me up, because I got Savage Fever, and the only prescription is more Slann. So that's where those guys are going if they can. The Arachnarok runs forward and bumps into that Skink Priest who was there, and so he'll hopefully have a nice little meal of that. Here is an end of turn shot, and it is not looking good for my buddy Rotor. Lizardman, turn 3. He moves his Skinks to shoot the Doom Diver. He's going to try to get some points. He's not close enough yet, but next turn he'll probably be able to. The Flankosaurus Rex, gets in exactly where you expect. I'm going to have to move some characters over there to deal with it, and he's going to get some nice impact hits. I don't want him holding me up, and this is always what happens to me and my Savages. Someone holds me, chaps me up or holds me up on the flank, and so he's so close, but he could be so far from that Slann. He moves his chaff around like you can see, so the Arachnarok, once I kill the Skink's going to have to go in. Once I kill the Skink Priest, he's going to have to go into those Skinks there, the Jav ones. And then he's got ones blocking my Savages. His Skinks that had initially fled have finally rallied and come back here, so he's got as close as he can to try to block up a little bit, but hopefully next turn he'll be able to correct that a little more. His Slann moves over to this side just to stay away from the front of me. Go to Magic, it's 11 dice to 5, and I'm thinking, crap a duck. That's a big old lead. He throws 5 dice at Soul Blight on my Savages, and I can't stop that. I painfully decide to let it go because I am more afraid of him picking out my characters and then having the Savages do something I don't want, like without rerolls or with bad leadership. That's what I'm afraid of. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead, Soul Blight me. It's the first round of combat again, so I'm going to have Choppas, so that helps mitigate that a bit, but it was painful to just allow that to go through. So next, I'm thinking he's gonna, Fate, he's gonna Caressive Lanif or something. I totally forgot. No more of that. He's gonna 6 dice Purple Sun, and I'm like, oh crap! I've had this happen so much. Damn you, Chris Kapsner! You've taught me what Purple Sun can do to my orcs, and thank God he failed to cast. Thank God his bad luck held, because I was just going to get punished. And then, then whatever survived, he's got a whole bunch of dice back, and then he's pew, pew, pew. There goes, oh God, it could have been really freaking bad. Thank God. That's all I'm going to say. I guess this is the picture for close combat. So yeah, in close combat, I kill the Skink Priest. I think this picture is on the Orcs and Goblins' turn, which is why it looks like I've overrun. I'm pretty sure this is on the Orcs and Goblins' turn. I just was getting slow and taking the pictures. I kill the Skink Priest, and then on my turn, the Arachnarok's going to go into the chaff. It's chaffing them up. And they pass their terror test there. In close combat with the Savages, I move my Shaman over. My saving grace here is that he still has Fist of Gorkup. That remains in play, baby. So he goes over. The BSB takes a couple of swings, does 1 wound. This Stegodon's got 5 wounds, and so I've got to make up 4. Unfortunately, I only land 3 with the Shaman, and the Savages don't do anything. So he's got 1 wound left. He loses because even with the charge, I've got ranks, I've got a BSB and a banner, and but he is stubborn 10 right now with that Slann back there. Thankfully, I'm able to reform. So here's that picture from Greenskin's turn 4. You can see in this picture I have reformed to face him. But Choppas is going to go away. I've got to keep Fist of Gork up if I want to be able to take that thing out. Because now pretty much everyone's wounded on 6s now, with the exception of that Shaman. I've got to get one wound through, but I know it could go bad. So, and I'm Soul Blighted. That's why. Ragnarok goes into those little skinkies there, and I think that's basically it for movement. There's not a lot else going on. In Magic, it's 9 dice to 5. He dispels. Here we go. I throw all 6 dice at it because I want rerolls for this, baby. I need to kill that guy. And he dispels it with the Cube of Darkness. He's like, Cube of Darkness! And yeah, besides just dispelling the spell, he dispels all remains in play spells. And that means Soul Blight is still there, but Fist of Gork is not. I'm like, damn it, that means I'm freaking hitting on wounding on 6s now. This is terrible. This is terrible. So, that's a really good Magic phase for him. And I got no Choppas this round. So the Doom Diver lands a couple wounds on the Slann. He ward saves one. He only ends up taking one. I kill the Skinks and reform to face him, but I mean this Ragnarok is having trouble now. I just can't get to who I need to get to. He's eating little minor points, but that's all I can do at the moment. I take 2 wounds from the Stegodon, and I'm not able to land a single one on him. My Black Orc is my great Black Hope here because he's got a great weapon. He had chose that, but I got 3 attacks. He missed on 2 of them, and one of them just didn't wound. So what is he? Strength 5, 7, 6, I think. Soul Blighted down to 5. I think he's Soul Blighted down to 5 right now. And so yeah, I can do it if I can hit, but he just missed 2 of his 3. So we're stuck. I still win. He's Stubborn 10, sticks around on Insane Courage, believe it or not. So yeah, he wasn't going anywhere anyway. And that's basically it. We go to Lizardman turn 4. Sorry, my notes say this is Greenskin's turn 4. It is not. This shows that his Skinks are moving toward eating my little Doom Diver. Now they finally made it, so it's going to be a lot of poison shooting. He moves his Slann back. Also, I think I show that a little bit better in the next picture, but his Skinks are moving up a little bit. Actually, I take that back. This picture shows a little bit better. So look at the blue arrows first. His Slann's going to move back to basically where that arrow is. He's getting out of the way. His Skinks are going to move up because I think you can see it better on this picture. Look at my Black Orcs. I can make a decent charge. I think I need like a 10 or an 11, but that's the hope for bringing that guy out. I mean, hopefully I'll roll a 6, but if not, that's why he's moving the Skinks here to block the Black Orcs, which is a pretty smart idea. So, we go to the Magic phase. It's 7 dice to 4. He picks up 6 dice, and he's like, Purple Sun, yeah, buddy. And I'm like, damn it, this is going to hurt. He rolls a 2, and the distance is 3 times the artillery dice, rolls a 2. Because he backed up, the Purple Sun stops where you can see it. Okay, now, the Magical Vortex keeps going through the unit, but they FAQ'd it so that on that pass-through, you don't get the wounds. The spell doesn't go into effect. If you're not familiar with that, basically, that Purple Sun only landed on 7 guys to begin with, and none of them were characters. Because he backed up and rolled poorly, the distance just screwed him. That should have been a delicious Purple Sun for him. Nothing. Not much at all. I mean, nothing in terms of what it could be. So now I'm looking at initiative test, right? Pick up the dice. I'm like, damn, Rotor, you're going to get some dice back. This is where your luck's turning around. I rolled 5 2s. Guess what my initiative is? So he gets 2 guys dead. I'm trying not to pee out loud. It's just freaking, it's just awful luck for him. I've never done something like that with initiative tests. Oh, God, it was brilliant. He doesn't get any dice back. That ends the Magic phase completely. And I'm just like, oh, baby. But he does get the Doom Diver. It gets a bunch of shots off on him, so there's some points there. In close combat, I whiff against the Stegodon completely. It's really the BSB here because I get some Savages in. I've only got like 4 touching him in the supporting ranks. Just whiffing, you know, what are you going to do? The BSB is the Great Black Hope. He misses 2, and he's Stubborn 10, rolls Insane Courage again. So there we go. And you can see where the Purple Sun is. He actually got 3 on me. I'm still winning combat, but he's the one losing. Just sticking around. Getting close to the end of the game here. Orcs and Goblins turn 5. The Black Orcs, we're talking, should I make that charge? He's like, be bold. Be bold. I need an 11. I rolled a 10. Failed by 1 inch. Damn it. The Ragnarok charges the Skinks up top who fail their terror test and flee. I pass my redirect and I'm like going for the Slann. I think I needed a 10 and I rolled a 9. I fell 1 short, but I'm like, that's okay. I still got this. But in both of these, it was like, you know, Rotor's cheering me on. He's like, come on, man, just go. Just go. Go for it. And it was so close. So close to being delicious. So both those dudes failed. We're still locked in combat. We'll go to Magic. It's 8 dice to 4. I throw 3 dice at Fist of Gork. That's what I want to go off now. He dispels that. Just straight out. I throw 5 dice at Here We Go, and this is amazing. I throw 5 dice at Here We Go and miscast. And so it goes off. I've got rerolls, right? I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. I roll the miscast, and it's everything in base contact. The shaman takes a strength 10 hit. The strength 10 hit from the miscast kills the Stegadon. I'd like to claim that that was strategy, that I was like trying to miscast along. No, I just dumb frickin' luck, baby. And then my Black Orc, yeah, he's fine. He ward saves it. My shaman, yep, he's fine. I think he took a wound from something else earlier, but he's fine. Ward saves it as well. I think I killed, yeah, that, you can see the big stabba unit for 2 guys. That was who I killed. I killed 2 guys with that. Got my points for Stegadon. Oh, God. It just keeps going shit south for Rotor, man. So I reform. Now the Slan, yeah, he's looking pretty bad. Okay, we got Lizardman turn 5. He decides to move as best he can. He moves the Skink Priest in front of the Arachnarok because that's the one he doesn't want to get in right away, and he angles them, so I can't really overrun and everything. The Savages, that's a charge. I mean, I failed. That's not that simple, so I could fail that one. And he's got a Magic Phase coming up. So that's basically it for moving. You can see the Skinks are coming up, but they're just going to shoot the Black Orcs. They're really not going to be able to do anything to him here. We go to Magic, people. It's 11 dice to 5. He picks up these dice and, oh crap, 11 to 5 is not what you want on the frickin' Lore of Death. So he dispels Purple Sun so that he can cast it again later in the phase. He throws 3 dice at Fate of Buna on my BSB, and I'm like, hell, I gotta let it go. I gotta worry about Purple Sun. You take the characters if you need them. He rolls, so Fate of Buna is a 2d6 minus my toughness. He rolls a 3. Oh God, it doesn't even do anything. Okay, that's a freebie. He throws 2 dice at Curse of Lanif on my shaman, and he gets 4 hits. Is that 4 wounds? He gets 8. I don't remember if you have to roll the hit first and then roll the wound, because if you rolled the hit, then he got 8, and then what wounded was 4. So I had to make 4 ward saves. I pick it up. I've got a 5-up ward save with magic resistance 1. I make 3 ward saves. Oh my goodness. So I take 1 wound on my Savage. So apparently I didn't take a wound before. And that's, yeah, maybe I just didn't count it. I'm still alive, but it looks like that die isn't reflected when I took this picture. So I take 1 wound. He doesn't get any dice back, but here comes Purple Sun, and he's going to go right down. He picks up the die and rolls a misfire. The Purple Sun lands right on him. Thankfully, it scatters off of him towards the Skinks and ends up where you can see it. But for the love of God, couldn't the luck go any worse for him? It's just freaking terrible. At this point, everyone in Fantasy Flight where we're playing is just hearing Rotor. Every time you hear the dice roll, you hear Rotor yell, shit, fuck, shit, every time afterwards. In fact, I'm not even looking to see what the rolls are. I'm taking notes on my computer. I just can hear by his reaction that it went poor for him. Greenskins turn 6. Yeah, I didn't fail the charge in either one. I'm in, and we're not even really going to worry about talking about Magic. We're going to go right to the Slan fight, and I'm going to eat his lunch. A whole bunch of wounds went on him, like 7 or 8. He ward saved a couple, but bleh, totally eaten. And that, my friends, is the game. Rotor was a fantastic sport. He had a really good time. In fact, I even have proof of it. He tweeted me after and was like he wanted to play again. So hopefully he's going to Adepticon next week. If you see him there and you're going to go, give him a pat on the back for me. Wish him good luck. Wish all the Skull Brothers good luck. I hope you guys do well. It was a really fun game. It was nice to get a win at the Orcs and Goblins. Rotor was saying that he's basically in the same thing I'm in, where you pretty much feel like it's really tough to get a win. You get these bad losing streaks. That changed when I was playing my Dark Elves, but yeah, I was having trouble with the Vamps for a good chunk of the year, and it just seems like you can, I don't know, it just seems like Orcs and Goblins are missing something in close combat. I just normally, against you know, like the other armies, I think if you go back and look at the battle reports from this year, it really feels like the Orcs and Goblins just are missing something in combat, that push. But in this case, it felt really good to get a win in because these guys just did what I needed. And yeah, Rotor was a good opponent. Anyway, that's it, everyone. I'll continue to work on my Dark Elves. They're on my plate right now on my desk. If you guys want, go check out my painting blog on Vampire Accounts forums. I can't link to another website from YouTube. They just won't let you. It has to be a YouTube site. So if you just look on my main YouTube page, there's a link in my banner. My banner has a picture of grass and my dog, and in the lower right is a link to my painting blog. There's not a lot there, but there's pictures as I get stuff ready, and you can ask questions and stuff. It's a little more interactive if you want. Otherwise, I think I have a link to my Twitter feed there if you want to tweet me as well. Ask questions, anything like that. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys have a good weekend.